Let me just tell you briefly what happened when I became, when I joined Phytoscience. Prior to that, I'd been a person that had been marketing or selling some herbs, and I'd sold all sorts of them. And you know how it happens with supplements. People use them for a time, and it seems like they're getting a relief, and afterwards they discover they didn't get that total relief, and they move on. So when I visited Zim, I had a very dear sister, a friend of mine, who had gone to the doctors after suffering for some time, and then the doctor eventually told her that she had stage 4 cancer, and she was very devastated. So, around Zim, we were hearing that, there's this stem cells, there's this other supplement that is working. And, when people tell you that there is something that's working and, they've seen results. So I thought, okay, let's look for money, and we buy. And we learned that buying was expensive, but joining was better. So, to cut a long story short, I then joined. Back then it was a bronze that was giving 5 packets on a promotion. I think they were combining it with an M2 after joining, and it was giving 5 packets. So I joined, and she started taking the stem cells. And at that time, we had been to a lot of doctors. You know how it is. Sometimes you hear a thing, and you are in denial. You want other doctors to confirm, and they did confirm that indeed she had cervical cancer stage 4. That was in Harare, the main town. So she started taking the stem cells. She was taking 2 in the morning and 2 in the evening. And so the daughter, 20, how old was she? About 21. She also had a problem with her lymph nodes. They were very swollen, and when you looked at them, they looked like boils. And they would give her so much grief. So we had suspected that maybe she was getting lymphatic cancer, or lymph cancer, or whatever it is called. But when we also put her on the stem cells, 2 in the morning and 2 in the evening, she got better, no fevers, the boils disappeared. She was happy again and back to herself, and we thought this is working. That's when now I said, well, let me try and go for the presentations. Back then, Leader Princess used to have these presentations at her house. I think we started in the garage, or we were in the lounge initially, and then moved to the garage and gazebo outside. And when I heard what these, testimonies from people that were coming that had used the product, the testimonies, the marketing plan, and I just saw that this was different. But that was that. After she took these stem cells, we went to a doctor that was out of town. And when we got there, that was about a month or 6 weeks later. And then, they also didn't want to just look at the results. They wanted to do their own tests. And when they did the test, I think they used to do not a pap smear. It's called a VIAC, but I think it's similar to a pap smear. Most of the ladies would know what a pap smear is. So after the results came, the doctor now took the results that we had brought and the new ones, and they said, where did you get these other results from? We said, oh, they are from Harare, from the doctors. And they said, well, I don't know what happened, but here are the results that we have from the test that we did today. It does not look like you actually have cancer stage 4. Though when we look at the uterus or the cervix, we can see that it's just whitish, just to show that it may have a problem that can be sorted with tablets. And we knew that the stem cells had actually worked from cancer stage 4 to whatever they were calling, I think lacerations or something. So they gave her some tablets and said, you go and take those tablets, and you should come back in 2 months. you will be fine. You don't need a surgery. Or, because she thought the uterus would be affected and all. So that was the first testimony that I saw, from the stem cells, that a person who had stage 4 cancer, after taking or consuming stem cells, just about a month or let me say 2 months, she was free of cancer. And prior to that, the doctor had said that she also had a fibroid, but a small one that wouldn't give her any problems because it was just about 2 centimeters. And then she didn't have that. Her uterus was clear after 4 weeks. Believe you me, that's when I saw and believed that these products actually work. So, and the daughter was fine, and that's just one of the other great testimonies that we have. The rest is history. But I say thanks to Phytoscience, and I started taking this business seriously. That's when then, later I moved to South Africa and started marketing this. But while I sacrificed all my products, giving them to my friend, my sister, and the daughter, I wasn't taking them. In as much as I also had a problem for years, I was constipated. And you see, I thought maybe this is what happens when you are over 40. You are constipated, whether you drink water or you eat foods, rapid giving foods, and it didn't work. But after some time, when I took a Snorfil Forte, then it wasn't Snorfil Forte, it was just the Snorfil. And within the first week, my metabolism normalized. And you know how when you are constipated, visiting the bathroom is like getting into labor. So you can imagine getting into labor every other day for more than 30 years. It was not a joke. So that's what this product did. It helped my sister and the daughter. They were totally healed and cancer-free from stage 4 cancer. And then I also had this constipation, which I thought was a part of me, but it wasn't a part of me, because when I took this product, it was sorted out, and I said, well, thank God. But as I've got so many testimonies that I could go on and on, but instead of documenting them like my sister does, I've got my niece who is in the house today, and I don't know if you are able to unmute her. So that's my video. Yeah, it's Naomi Natai. Naomi Natai. I think she's written Natai, and she put in the brackets my name. So Natai, yes, Natai. And I've gotten Tiki also, and Sophia from Namibia. So they are there in the house. They'll give the testimony. So maybe I could give a chance to Natai. Thank you.
You?
Yeah, hi.
I'm fine, thank you.
Natai.
I'm here. I'm unmuted. I'm speaking.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, so I would just like to give my testimony. I had an issue with ovarian cysts. I kept getting them all the time, but this particular time I had one which was quite painful because it was quite big. And the doctors always say, oh, they'll go away, but the cyst actually kept just growing bigger and bigger and bigger. And I was put on all sorts of pain medications, and I was put on these contraceptive pills, which are quite strong, and they're supposed to make them shrink or pop. And nothing was happening. I think it got to almost 6 centimeters in diameter. It was quite big, and the doctor had said if it gets to 7, he has to operate to remove it. But because of where it was, that operation was going to be quite dangerous. It was, right inside there by the ovaries. So, Auntie Ernie and my mom put me on the stem cells, and in less than 2 weeks, in fact, after a week, I wasn't in pain anymore. and in less than 2 weeks, it completely disappeared. It was gone. And they never shrink that fast. It was just amazing.
Well, wow. Did you go to do a check to confirm that it's not there?
Yes, I did. I went for a scan and it was gone. There was just nothing.
What did the doctor say to you?
He was surprised because that's never happened. And I tried, funny enough, I did try to explain that, no, I was taking, but he didn't understand what I was talking about and he brushed me aside. But I knew what I was taking and I knew that this is what had healed me. He just didn't understand. He just thought, it's just something strange.
Wow. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm not sure we heard that. What exactly? Ernie, what did you give her? No, it was just stem cells. You see, my sister, the mother, is also in the house. And I really thank God that she's also there in the house. Maybe she can tell you what she did. She just said, Natai is in so much pain. And, and I said, well, yeah, she's in so much pain. Oh, she can't get a relief. And I said, well, as you are saying, let's try the stem cells. You just never know. But at that time, I wasn't even too sure that you see, because she had been on medication from the doctors. So you are like, whoa, if the doctors have failed, you just don't know what can happen. And when Linda, my sister, came and said, you won't believe this, Natai says she's feeling much better, she's not in pain, but she's going back to the doctor. And when she phoned and told me that Natai does not have any cysts, I just couldn't believe it. I also was like,
amazing.
It was amazing because it was too short. Exactly, 2 weeks. Amazing. Thank you so much. Can we speak to your mom? Oh, yes, Linda. She's Linda Shumba. She's one person that now believes in Linda Shumba. Okay, Linda,
the stem cells. Hello?
Sorry? Yes, go ahead,
I was saying it wasn't just too short. The stem cells are delicious, and that made me feel like I felt like I was eating candy or something.
You can say that again. Okay, so yeah. Linda Shumba. I don't know if there's so many Lindas. Yeah, I did. Yeah, I've done that. I saw the name. I am unmuted. I've asked her to unmute. So Linda, can you hear me? Yeah, she's unmuted. Hi. I was in bed. I'm in bed. All right, sorry. Okay. Sorry, we'll put you on the spot. No, it's all right. It's okay. Okay. Okay, so we want to hear from you. We've heard from Natai. We want to hear from you. What happened? She had pains for quite a while. I think from the time she was in matric. She was complaining of these sharp pains. We took her to the doctor, and the doctor said she had cysts, and these things normally go away by themselves. But after a while, it was just getting bigger and bigger and bigger. They put out medication, and this medication was supposed to shrink the cyst. But instead, when we went back, it had even gone bigger. So they changed the medication to a different type, and they said this was going to work. So I said to her, no, you know what? Let's just wait. Let's hold on the medication thing. There's something that I heard from Sis Ernie, something to do with stem cells. Maybe we should try that and see how it works. And then I contacted her, and she brought us some stem cells, and we put her on that on the stem cells. It didn't take much time. I think after a week, she wasn't in pain anymore. 2 weeks later, when she went back to the doctors for a checkup, she didn't tell them that she was not taking the medication they had initially prescribed. He did the scan and he couldn't find anything. And he actually thought it was his medicine that had worked. It was like, you see? And she said, no, my mom gave me something, but he didn't even listen. He was not even listening. I don't think he even knew what we were talking about. But we knew what it was. And they couldn't even trace it. It was not there.
exactly 2 weeks.
Yeah, what exactly did she take and how did she take it?
She was taking 2 in the morning and 2 in the evening with a lot of water.
Crystal. Yes.
That would be crystal. Sorry?
Yes, crystal cell.
Crystal. Yes. Oh, yes.
Only crystal cell, actually.
Only crystal cell.
So 2 in the morning, 2 at night, and that's it for 2 weeks.
And that was it for 2 weeks. When she went back, there was nothing. There was no cyst.
Wow. Congratulations, Natai. That's an awesome testimony. Thank you so much, Lisa, for sharing this. Thank you. You inspired somebody here today. And so you guys, here you have it. Thank you so much. Wonderful.
Thank you very much.
Testimony. Ernie, thank you for doing this. All right. And Didi, I do have Siki from South Africa also. She's got a short one. Okay, what's her name? Thanks, Linda. Siki. I've seen it. Yes, Siki.
Good evening, everybody.
Good evening.
Hello. Mine, I will try and keep it as short as can be. Just a brief summary as to where I come from. From 2012 to 2017, I went through 14 operations. And there was, of course, lots of medication, lots of anesthetics, of course, going to theater 14 times in that period, 6 months in hospital. And I suffered a stroke in 2018, December. I suffered a stroke and then I had another coma March the next year, 2019. So it has been a roller coaster. And of course, the body builds up toxins like nobody's business. And with all this medication that I've been going through. So what I did, when I met Annie, in actual fact, we were we were with a sister company, our competitor in SA, and we were not happy. We had just started with a friend who is my upline and the downline for Annie, Nikki. So we jumped ship and we joined Annie. Because Annie, I'm telling you, guys, do you have a gem there? She's so disciplined, so knowledgeable, so patient, and we are so happy with her work here in South Africa. That I must share, and everybody must know that. So I started on the stem cells, but what I didn't know then is that I have to drink it more, because I was taking one a day and not regularly, jumping some days and whatever, because I didn't see the value of the product yet. I took it for granted, I must say. But by then I had already stopped medication, which meaning chemicals. Then I heard about the snowfill. Snowfill is a detox. She had told me about snowfill in the beginning, but of course I jumped for crystal cell, thinking crystal cell is going to be my good start and whatever. And over time I realized that I still need to detox because of the medication that's in my body throughout the years. I started snowfill when we had our Johannesburg meeting 2 Saturdays ago. And I took the one special, it's super what I can't remember what it's called. But I got 4 boxes of snowfill. Yeah, snowfill, it's snowfill, 4 boxes of snowfill and 1 double stem cell. I took the 4 because I wanted to try it for my children too, who were also going through, with the lack of employment and all the things that are happening in the country. I realized that they were going through depression, and I realized that their bodies were not coping with whatever they needed to do in the day. They were getting tired, they were having headaches, their body aches there and there. My son was not sleeping at all. So what I decided to do is to take the snowfield pack and all three of us take it together as a team and observe the changes or whatever progress that we may experience. My son, first day when we started, which was the Monday after the Saturday, he says within 5 minutes he had to rush to the loo, and he was going through the loo the whole day. And then I told them that they must drink a lot of water because it has to flush out. My daughter didn't experience anything for the first 2 days. Like he would say, I've got a headache. Then I would say, remember, drink water. That's the first 2 days. And then I think it was on the third day when it started taking her to toilet, and she started experiencing, when it pulls you, these products, they have a way of pulling the areas that need to be fixed or need to be repaired. Your body tells you, because you get a profuse pain for just a short while. And she was going through all of that. And then she would say, there's a pain here, there's this. Then I would say to her, that's exactly when this thing is working. It's going to areas that you were problematic with. And she's been experiencing that gradually. And they've been drinking a lot of water. I personally, I didn't have anything on the first day. But on the second day, I counted. I went to the bathroom 6 times during number 2. Sorry for my language. But I had never done that before. I'm not a one who constipates or anything, but I noticed going 6 times, it was like out of this world. And then, because my left foot has got amputations and it's been giving me problems, it goes to that foot, and the pain that I get is like the foot is breaking up again, or But what it does, it goes to a section, then it pulls and pulls. Then I suffer a little bit. It's not even 5 minutes, but a very painful pain. Then it goes to another section. So that's what it has been doing to my body. Then at times I get the headaches because I forget. I would have a cup of my black rooibos and forget to drink water. But all I can say today is that my son even says this morning, how, Mama, I'm left with 5 sachets. How is it? Because you gave me 14 in the box. He says, no, somebody's stealing my sachets. And I said, no, my son, it's because you're finding joy in what you're experiencing. He's calmer, he sleeps more, he's more organized, he remembers his things. Before, he would never keep a memory. My daughter says she's so calm, she's so light. Even when she walks, she feels that there's a difference in her body. And the areas where there was deposits of toxins around her, where she was experiencing pain, those pains are going away gradually and gradually. And I, if need be, I'm going to get the next set of boxes for them to clean totally. But me, myself, I now am taking my stem cells morning and evening to try and push, because I'm also picking up on the energy. Because after the stroke, I couldn't move much. I couldn't stand for long. But now I'm able to be in the kitchen, do dishes, help out with cooking and things like that.
Wow. Wow.
Yes.
Wow. Thank you so
Yes.
much. I will show some reaction. Thank you so much for sharing.
Yes.
We
Yes.
appreciate. Okay,
Yes.
so time fast running on us. Thank you so much for sharing. Okay, so
Yes.
Don Jeff, are we ready for you, or are you ready for us? Which one is it now?